Hey groups, it's Chantel with your Groups Insider Updates. We are so excited to share more updates on our upcoming Foundry Lakeshore campus and Incubate. Incubate is a service that meets every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. in our Foundry Live venue space. The Incubate service allows the launch team to get to know one another, do life together, worship, and prepare as they get ready for Foundry Lakeshore. We are so excited that they are getting ready to start their services and be able to offer you nursery and shakeout services, birth through 3rd grade. We are also excited for the ways that they are about to serve in our community, both in the Holland area and Zeeland area, starting in April with the Compassionate Heart 5K, and then again in May with the Tulip Time 5K. If you're interested in learning more about our Foundry Lakeshore campus, about Incubate, or any of the ways to get involved with that launch team, please reach out to our venue pastor, Hugh Randall, and he would love to connect with you and fill you in more on those details. That's all I have for you today. We'll swing it over to Eric.
What's going on, Foundry Groups? It is good to be back with you today. I've got the first icebreaker question for you as we jump in. What was your favorite question Jesus asked that we have discussed through this series? Why don't you go around and share those with your group, and then we will jump into content right after that. All right, for some discussion questions for you guys. What stood out to you in this week's message? And, well, you know what? Go ahead and answer that, and then we'll come back to the next one. Next question. Were you able to apply that into your life already this week? Have you been able to get that kind of, folded into the life you live? Go ahead and read in the Gospel of John, chapter 21, 1 through 14, and then loop back here, and we will go into questions. So let me ask you this question. How do you think the disciples would have felt considering everything that had happened to them over that last month to now fish all night long and catch nothing? That follow-up to this would be, when have you felt that way? How have you experienced feeling how they probably felt? This next question is interesting to me because I can really find myself wondering it and questioning. What would your response have been to someone telling you to try fishing on the other side? This next one's a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, in your devotion this week, you learned that fishermen commonly only fished off the left side for 2 reasons. First, if there was an oar, it was mounted on the other side. Secondly, pulling fish in from the left because most people were dominant on their right hand. So Jesus suggested to fish off the other side, and that would have not made sense. Yet they obeyed. When have you been led? So when have you been led by Jesus to do something that doesn't make sense in the world's eyes? And then the next question being, what happened when the disciples obeyed these unusual instructions? I really like this next question. It says, isn't it amazing that the fishing net didn't tear? What if the disciples had seen the huge catch of fish, but were too nervous because, it could tear the net? So the question becomes this: how do we do that in our Christian lives? How do we do that in our Christian lives and miss the miracle of what God's trying to do? Next question, why do you think Peter recognized Jesus? This is a fascinating question. Why did Jesus eat with them? Go ahead and read Gospel of John, chapter 21, I believe verses 15 to 19. Read those, loop back with me, and we'll jump into questions. So picture yourself in Peter's position in this. Picture yourself there. How would it feel to be sitting with Jesus? Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 different times. Was it the same question each time? Why do you think Jesus said, "Feed my sheep"? How would you have responded to Jesus' questions that he asked? Jesus ends his conversation with Peter with the same words he first spoke to the disciples. What were those words? And finally, what does it mean to follow Jesus? All right, groups, if you have a chance, jump into that digging deeper section. I know it's a little extra, but it's then the hard things we do, that digging deeper, that quite often we find ourselves growing. So lean into that. And once you're done with your questions and your group time, blessings to you, and we look forward to gathering again next week.